Steve, the Cowboys, do they have the best offense in all of football right now? Leading the league in total offense, number 2 in passing offense, number 2 in points per game. And when I ask around the league, Dak Prescott is an MVP, not candidate, MVP front runner.
Bro, he is balling. He's not getting a lot of credit at all, and I'm surprised on the reasons why. But it's been really impressive the way he has conducted himself, how efficient he is, explosive plays. You lose CD Lamb, and you still find a way to put George Pickens, who is playing really well.
Yes.
With the way he runs routes is a little bit unconventional, but he's still getting it. Huh?
What do you mean by, I want to know, what do you mean by unconventional? Like, as a receiver, describe it.
He's a galloper.
Okay.
It can be seen sometimes as he seems like he's cruising, but he's not. That's just kind of the way he runs.
Okay.
But I also think that he is a get north type of route runner. He doesn't really run the intermediate east and west types of routes. He's not going to cross you over at the line of scrimmage, then hit you with a China route and pull out and come back. He's more of hit you with the double move on the outside. Big body catch, great body control, catching the ball. Outside of his shoulders, really circus catches, doing everything that you expect a big body receiver to do. However, CeeDee Lamb is the official efficient route runner who can run everything in a route tree. And how these guys have really integrated with each other and in this offense, no one is saying, hey, I need this or I need that. It's these guys are just playing like this. This is a difficult catch.
Whew.
Bro, to be able to see how he drops his weight so his knees
hit
and his feet, but he catches the football. Man, to go inside, then outside, and slightly behind you, man, that is eye-and-hand coordination that you practice over time, that that enhances you. This play right here is also how some teams will spin the bag on him and may get a little wonky and get fuzzy.
What do you mean?
Well, this catch says, man, he's a legitimate number one.
Mm-hmm.
And you get him on your team, you give him that money, and he may not conduct himself and be prompt and on time as a true number one.
Okay. I get it. And I think that we should say that right now, because I think that is a part of this equation. We know why George Pickens was shipped out of Pittsburgh by Mike Tomlin. Yeah. We know that it had more to do with off the field than on the field, Steve. And so I would like to
hold on.
Okay.
Some of it was on the field, though.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, because it bled on. I remember a particular Hail Mary where he's borderline in the stands fighting with a defensive back when he's not even on the field to pick a catch.
Or not blocking.
Yeah, they had it. A lot of the stuff bled onto the field and performance with it. Yep. But yeah, it wasn't like they didn't think he could play receiver by any stretch. They knew how talented he was and that he could play it. I think we do need to, and we'll get to Dak and we'll get to CD and we'll get to, actually there's other parts of this offense that have been outstanding, but I want to give Brian Schottenheimer his flowers. Because
didn't see that one coming.
You didn't see that one coming?
No, because I did not see Brian Schottenheimer actually being a really good coach because of how it seemed to be laid out for him. It just seemed to be like, man, this is a setup. It's almost
the process made you hurt. The process actually hurt Brian Schottenheimer, right? Like you had a perception just because of how Jerry went about it. Yes.
Yeah, it made him the way the process went. It was presented, and a lot of people took it as, man, he was like the afterthought. He was.
Jerry wants somebody he can control. Yes,
it wasn't, hey, he's the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and we think he's the best candidate. It was, this is the guy we prefer to have so we can control him. Mm-hmm. And that's how it came across. And I'm not saying that is the case,
I don't think it is.
I'm just saying that's how it came across, and it just wasn't presented well at all.
That's a great way to put it, because the two things that I want to get to him, and then we'll get to all these players because they deserve all the attention, but I wanted to give Shotty his flowers for the one thing that they did know, and if you know him, you know this, he manages relationships and personalities very well. Through the whole Micah Parsons thing, he kept that relationship that he had with Micah really together, just in case he thought Micah was coming back, but he kept that part of things, and that was one of the reasons why Micah was still around the team, was because of Brian Schottenheimer and their relationship.
And so, great tidbit. Thank you for that information, bro.
No problem.
I appreciate that, because that has not been emphasized enough, and that's the first time I've heard that, and so, man, thank you. That really helped me and realize, I was like, wow, he just doesn't get enough credit, Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, for that's part of it, and I think that's playing a part with George Pickens, right? Like, they've created an environment for George to flourish, and I think talking to a coach yesterday, Steve, it was put to me this way, and I'm curious as a receiver how you would think about it, and I was like, how will this work with CeeDee Lamb coming back after George was the guy for this stretch? Right? Now they're going to come back. CeeDee is a dog. Go back and watch our piece that we had on Big Dogs. CeeDee's part of that top group. And how is this going to work with George? And it was put to me this way. This was probably a blessing that CeeDee missed this time, because the added reps and chemistry and time together for George Pickens and Dak, they were just forced into it and may benefit the offense as a whole moving forward. But also I was told, look at how Dak works. Look at how CeeDee works. I've had people in Dallas tell me they might be the two hardest working guys on the team. George has to see that, right? And he has to see all of this come together with those two. He knows CeeDee gets his spot. What do you think is in George Pickens' mind, though, going, man, I was balling when CeeDee was out. I saw him celebrating that CeeDee touchdown. It looks like he's just fine knowing that they're running mates.
I can't, I try not to, unless I've, had conversations with people or to be able to give a firsthand knowledge. So I don't know. I don't know George well enough, George Pickens, to be able to, categorize his character. So I really don't know. All I know is from some of the things that what people told me in Pittsburgh, what some of the things came out of Georgia when he was being drafted. I would say sometimes he could be George Pickens. He could be a pleasure to be with, and sometimes you ask yourself, what was he thinking, right? Mm-hmm. Watching the Dallas Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb first, that offense flows through CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is going to catch 100. He's going to get 100-plus targets. He's going to probably catch 96 passes. That's how this offense is built around. And when you, as a number one wide receiver, know and can count on getting your targets, it makes, when George Pickens is in there and he's out, it makes you root for him, because you already know that someone is not eating at your expense. I will say exactly how I feel. I've never been a number two. I only know how to operate as a number one. And I believe all true number ones look at their teammates and willing to run routes to get them open, but they also need to do their job, because I'm Roots Chris. I'm Steak 48.
Oh, 100%.
Right? I am the, when you're taking your chick out to a nice restaurant, you take them to Steak 89, right? That's where you're going. Man, the 2s and 3s, man, that's Mickey D's. That's Jack in the Crack. That's Jack in the Box. That's Burger King, right? It's Arby's. Whoa. I don't know how George perceives himself and how he's going to conduct himself as the season progresses. If he has 4 or 5 games where he doesn't get the opportunities, I'm not sure. He may maintain on his best behavior. But the fact that people are saying that that George Pickens is on his best behavior,
they are.
Sometimes we try to skip the process and go, well, his best behavior would indicate there's been some other things in the past that has made him expendable. Mm-hmm. And so now the question is, when you get paid, money doesn't make you new. It just heightens who you already are.
Reinforces the personality trait you already got.
Reinforces the personality, and sometimes in a bad way, because now you got that F you money. You got that, hey, would you? Nah, F you. I ain't doing that. I got paid.
Yep.
I don't have to do it if I don't want to. And so you want to hope that doesn't happen. I'm not saying this is the case, but it's been enough examples of people that it's not like I'm out here picking on somebody or just throwing poop against the wall and hoping it sticks, because that's not the case.
Yeah. Hey, there's a track record.
Yes.
And that's why everybody's asking the question.
Yes.
We haven't seen it in Dallas yet.
Nope.
Of all accounts that I've been told, Steve, him and CD have a great relationship.
They do have a great relationship. They do have a great relationship.
He's fit into the locker room great, but I think you are right, because there's an aspect of this. He is playing for what this year?
That money.
He is a free agent after the season. Whether he gets it from Dallas or anywhere else, he is showing the entire league. Right now, he's a one. Somebody's going to pay him as a one.
Yes, hold on, though. I got a question.
The way he's playing.
I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
If you are Steven Jones, and Jerry comes up to you, hey, we need to pay George today, do you pay George? Do you give, the way George Pickens has showed up, do you extend George Pickens right now, or do you wait until the end of the season?
Yeah. So, as I know this for a fact, that is a conversation that is happening in the building. Jerry's going. There's two thoughts in Jerry's mind, to my understanding.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
That's why I'm telling you. There are kind of two ways you can look at this. One, Jerry is looking at every opportunity to go, see, trade Micah was the right move, right? Like, we got this money. We can go pay George Pickens. We can go, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think there's people in that building going, we have a lot of needs on this team. We have a lot of needs on the other side of the ball that we need to address. I know there's some people in that building that go, you know who we should probably pay, and it won't cost a lot? Javonte Williams. Like, we should maybe pay this back, who's second in the NFL in rushing right now.
Balling.
He's
you
balling.
Think you think they would love to have him back in Denver?
In Denver right now?
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, so, and my point is, there are people in the go, whoa, we do have this extra Micah money.
Yeah.
But let's be very strategic in how we spend it and not just throw it at another number one. Let's maybe see if we can both coexist at the same time, right? Is George and his representatives, which he's represented by Athletes First, who was part of Athletes First?
I don't know.
David Mulugeta, who represents Micah Parsons. Oh. And we all know how that negotiation went. And so that is George's. That is the agency that represents George.
If you don't think George gonna give it back to Jerry.
So wouldn't you think that group is saying, whoa, George, you're playing great. We're taking this to the end of the season. We want to hear what we have from everybody. We're not jumping at the first offer. And I think that is smart, because your second contract is everything, right, Steve? Oftentimes, a lot of these guys don't even get a third. So the second one's the monster.
Here's something, though, that I think is lingering that people don't really understand. Mm-hmm. Why it's so enticing to sign George right now is because you have these number one draft picks. And so you can get an explosive impact player on the cheap, instead of having to go through free agency and overpaying. And so that's why it seems attractive right now.
I wanted to spin this a little bit into this where this offense works and get your expertise on this, because the reason I mentioned Javonte Williams and the way that he's run the football brilliantly, they've been very balanced as an offense, which has helped Dak. They've been very balanced as an offense,
and Dak's decision making is remarkable.
It's been outstanding, and I talked to people there. He's
not
in complete
getting enough
command.
credit.
He's not getting enough, and I want to do a specific thing on Dak, so I'm going to say this about Javonte. With both of these, this is what I'm told, and I want your with both of these receivers on the field, what does the run game have to deal with? Light boxes. All the
boxes, and Ferguson is a beast. That dude,
he's tied for the league lead in touchdown catches.
Yeah, so Ferguson, he's so active in the run game. with Williams, they got to pick their poison. You can't single up. The Commanders found that out. You can't single up
these receivers.
George Pickens, and now with CeeDee Lamb out there, and then Ferguson, right?
So then Dak's decision making, like you said, Steve, he's just going to come to the line and go, all right, what do they got? And he's getting protected. And so with Dak, Steve, and when when you ask anybody in Dallas, this is what I'm told. The football IQ has been off the charts, specifically even this year. The poise has been outstanding. Complete control, complete command of this offense. He's playing pitch and catch some of them things. Some of the balls he's dropping in is just, he's seeing it so well. And the part that I wanted to ask you was, when I ask other defensive coaches, it's, I love Dak's game. I love the way he plays. I've been a big fan of him. Hey, why does he get so much heat? Why does he get so much criticism? And that probably is the case. I think he's gotten a lot of criticism over the course of his career. Why? Is it because there's been some instances in big games where maybe he hasn't had the best performance? But, I mean, he's dominated his division. It's him and Patrick Mahomes that are the best in football over the last several years against their division. I think he has like 3 losses in the division over the last 5 years. Like, he doesn't lose in the NFC East a whole lot. Like, why does he get some unnecessary, in a lot of coaches' minds, heat or knocks?
Because with the Dallas Cowboys and the Star, you get people automatically who start to discredit because of how much the Dallas Cowboy fans, the players, some of those players are revered, right? I go back and, as an example, remember Miles Austin, the wide receiver?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, he wasn't a bad receiver. However, he wasn't like a dominant receiver the way he was getting covered. He was getting covered like he was in the top 10 statistically, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
And that is that star. There are some organizations, when you come into that organization, whether you've earned it or not, you become a superstar. You start to be marketed in the way that your game sometimes doesn't always line up. Okay. Now, Dak was a 4th-round draft pick who replaced Romo, and some people were like, oh, and then so they threw him in there. He got a lot of credit early. And then all of a sudden, right, then when you had Ezekiel Elliott running the football, there were, in the contract negotiations, there were times where we do it all the time. Which one makes the offense go? Who deserves to get paid? Who is the reason why this is happening, right? Yeah. And we love to give it to the quarterback, but then sometimes we like to say it ain't the quarterback. So I think he got caught up in that. I know I even was asking, I was like, look, I think I said it on NFL Network a couple of years ago when he was up, and I was like, hey, Ezekiel Elliott is this offense. He's the quarterback. And I had the opportunity to talk to Dak Prescott. I was in New Orleans. It was the last time.
Hey, there he is.
The last time that we worked Thursday night, because the next year it was given to sold off to Amazon Prime, that I said, hey man, I made this statement and I just wanted to tell you that I was completely wrong. And Dak did something that was super cool. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, well, and so I repeated it, right? And told him that I was wrong. And he was like, man, I really appreciate that, Steve. And it was super dope.
That is cool.
Right?
That's really cool.
Again, I never and still don't have a problem. I'm going to always say how I feel. And I'm going to say how I feel about whoever it is. And if I have the opportunity, if it didn't land well, sit well with them, hearing it through the grapevine and hearing it on the streets, I'll always have an opportunity, present myself, humbly present myself, an opportunity to say, hey, if something doesn't sit well with you, let me know. I'm a big boy. I've heard no before. I've heard it almost too often, right? But it is what it is.
So now you got your opportunity to hear in 2025.
Yep.
Steve, your opinion of Dak Prescott right now is what?
Man, he's MVP. He's the way he's playing, the way he's orchestrating and conducting. He's Mozart. Mm-hmm. He's orchestrating something so beautiful. He has so many mouths to feed, but you don't need 35 cents a day to feed this child. Just give it to Dak and he will take care of it, right? And he's doing it and doing it well. Yeah. That was a LL Cool J. Smith, another Smith and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Just throw it in there.
Hey, let me do it like. Hey, back in the day, I used to think I was LL too.
You were LL? Who didn't want to be LL?
I used to lick my lips and stuff, trying to Mac. What up, girl? What's your Stevan? What's your name?
You wear the hat too?
Man, of course, bro. I've been wearing hats since I was like 10 years old. I had a Kango hat.
The L hat, yeah.
The
only concern,
the
only concern I have, Steve, my last comment is this:
doing it.
They believe, like there is a fear there in Dallas.
It has to be a fear.
Are we going to waste this?
Dak's great year.
Are we going to waste this season? I got a direct text of, I am terrified we're going to waste Dak.
Was that from Matt Eberflus? Because it
was from Jerry. The way the defense just has to play okay, and they could be terrifying to play. Nobody would want to play them in December, and if they found a way into the postseason, if they're playing okay, they're going to be a tough out the way they can put points and stress you as a defense.
They're obviously missing Micah is the issue, but man, there's guys though.
Demo's coming back. They opened they activated his window. I know that's huge for them.
Yes,
I think that's big for the
huge.
defense.
But Matt Eberflus has gotten a lot of credit for being a good defensive-minded coach. And he never really has. His defenses, if you go back historically, his defenses have always consistently given up a lot of yards. Not points, but yards. And just because you're giving up a lot of yards and not points doesn't mean when the playoffs come that's going to vote well for you, because the playoffs are really about looking at every single play that was negative from that season for 17 weeks, which could be out of 500 plays, you may have about 125 where you giving up the draws in a way that only a prom date would want to be on. And so you got to be extremely careful, right?
It's all magnified, yeah.
It's magnified, and you get exposed.
Oh, yeah.
How Matt Eberflus got the head coaching job for the Chicago Bears on the defensive side, because there was he did a really good job in Indy. He didn't. He was okay. He wasn't great. And then he goes and leads the defense in Chicago. Again, okay. Wasn't great. And now what is he doing in Dallas? He's doing okay, but not
great. That was nice of you to say okay. I don't think a lot of people would say okay right now.
I know they wouldn't, but I'm trying to, I'm working on trying to be nicer, in my analyst work, to be more open-ended and more broad statements, and instead of pa-pow, pa-pow.
Taking people out across the NFL.
Yeah.